The skill I'm going to look at today is grid references. I'm going to show you how you can give coordinates to identify your location down to 100 metres. You can see this is a Northern Ireland Ordnance Survey map. It's a 1 to 25,000 map section of the Mournes. And you'll notice along the bottom of the grid here it has a set of numbers running left to right. Those are called eastings, they run east-west. And it has a set of numbers that run up and down the page, north to south, and they are called northings. Now we can use those together to give what's called a four-figure grid reference that will identify the grid square that we're in. So a four-figure grid reference will give you your location down to a 1 kilometre square. We're going to assume that we're currently at this location here that I've marked with the blue dot. To get our four-figure grid reference, first of all we're going to read along our eastings. I'm going to read across the page and we're going to find the lowest number that touches the square that the blue dot is on. So the numbers 28 and 29 relate to this square, so it's always the lower number. So I'm going to write in here 28 for the first part of the four-figure grid reference, and then I'm going to come up the northings. So I'm going to go 25, 26, 27, and this square is between 27 and 28. So we take the lower number out of the two, so it's going to be 2827. And that's going to be our four-figure grid reference, 2827, and that will take us into a grid square of 1 kilometre squared. So to get us down into a smaller area, I am going to use a compass. Now along the top edge of the compass there and down the right hand side you can see there's a scale. Now along that top edge you can see it says 1 to 25k, which tells me that that scale, or roamer as it's called, is designed specifically for use with a 1 to 25,000 map such as this. So we're going to use this scale now to measure our third and sixth figures to give us a more accurate grid reference down to 100 metres. So to do that I'm going to put the right hand point of the compass right onto our location, and then we're going to read the third figure of our easting. So what we do is we measure back to where the blue line crosses the scale. So you can see that's almost exactly between 2 and 4, almost exactly halfway between the two. So that would mean our third figure then in the northing would be 3. So I'm going to write that down. So it'll be 283. And then we do exactly the same now for the northing. So again we put it carefully, the point onto our location, and we read back down the same manner, this time again looking for where the blue line crosses that scale. So again we can see that's between 2 and 4, so our sixth figure would also be 3 in this case. So I'm going to write that down there. So that gives us our six-figure grid reference of 283273. If we had a casualty, for example, we could ring for Mountain Rescue. We could give that six-figure grid reference. It would give our location to within 100 metres, and it would mean that Mountain Rescue would have to waste very little time in locating us. They wouldn't have to search for us. They'd be able to come to our more or less our exact location. To summarise again, we read across the page to give our first two figures, which is going to be the lower of the two that touch the square we're in. And we then go up the page to do exactly the same, again using the lower of the figure of the two lines that touch our square. And then we use our compass. We put the right hand corner point of the compass onto our location, and then for our final northings and eastings we read back to where the blue lines cross the scale. I hope you enjoyed that short video on grid references. If you want to find out more about this or other topics to do with land navigation, look in the links in the description below, and hope to see you again.